glad I'm not in the middle of the road anymore. Crazy, big machines. 2MA in the European market. I think the Japanese market was the 1KT. That's the one that I knew. So let's have a look at it, and you don't have to look at my face all day. So TZR250 parallel twin. It's got 45 horse. I've had a TZR125 as well with white three-spoke rim, so this is very close to my heart. So and that was about 25 horse, which kind of makes sense then. They just doubled everything. So almost 50 horse, 250cc, parallel twin. So it's quite cool. It weighs something ridiculous. There's some conflicting information on the internet. Some say 128, some say 138 wet. That's with fuel, fully loaded, all the hydraulics in there. That's crazy. That is super light. So yeah, parallel twin, as I just mentioned. 2 exhausts coming out of the front, single disc, double pot caliper. This exhaust pipes, oh man, this is very unique for me to the 1KT. As I mentioned, the 3MA had a 2 exhausts out of the back, and then there's the 3XV, which was the last version of this, which had a V-twin motor, a 250 V-twin. The 3MA was also parallel twin, but as I mentioned, the exhaust comes out of the back of the motor with the carbs actually in the front. So this would have come after the 350 LC. So some of the internet write-ups, they mention that this is the first GP bike, super bike that they attempted with it. As per the RD400 video, if you haven't checked that, go have a look at it. That's still the oldest style motorcycles in my opinion, the older tank, no fairing. They did go to the 350 LC, which was halfway here or 3/4 here probably, and then they brought this out. So this is the first race bike, and as I must say, this does feel like a race bike. It's got a power valve in the exhaust, or actually at the exhaust port. I'll turn the bike on, you'll hear it now, cycle. It has to be set up correctly. So what it does is at low RPM, it actually closes a portion, or it's a valve that turns like a cam almost, so you get more back pressure at low RPM, and then at high RPM it opens completely. So you have low down torque, and then at high RPM it just revs straight through. So you'll hear it now. And if your bike made that sound, you were the coolest guy in school, especially for 1 to 5. Theoretically, you weren't allowed to ride a 250 at the age of 16, 17, but there were people, I knew a few guys that had 1KTs. Oh, beautiful, eh? So even with the power valve, you still have to give it a bit of gas. I'll pull away from the stop street again, but under 6,000 revs there isn't a confidence inspiring horsepower, if it makes sense. Oh man, this is a treat though. Beautiful. Just have a look at this nice road we're going to take now. So the TZR, as I mentioned, came after the RD350 LC or the RZs. I'm not sure where the RD and the RZs overlap. As I mentioned, they had a RD 250, 300 or 350, 400, and then it became the 350 LC. And then they went to the TZR. So I'm not sure if you could hear that, but yeah, you have to kind of wind it up a little bit. It's not bad, but it's, you know, compared to the power that's there in higher RPM. Yeah, no, this is really nice. Like I did mention in one of the write-ups that that the earlier models, this model, was more user-friendly, and even the owner of this bike joked and said this was the reliable TZR. I know the 3MA, my brother had one, and he was always working on it. It was, as far as I know, specifically to those carburetors, the way it was set up, with the carbs in the front, exhaust coming out of the back, debris and everything just gets in there. But apparently you struggle to get him to run right. That's basically a race bike put on the road, where this was, I would say, a refined race bike. It's got race bike heritage, it's got race bike parts on it, but it's not a fully fledged race bike. I'll put a picture in here of a 2MA that is in race trim, which they, as I mentioned, the 2MA they refer to as the European spec, and the 1KT actually as the Japanese domestic market spec. Yeah, but it's got plenty of go, eh? Poke. And brakes, yes. It's got a single disc. I would have assumed, yeah, it felt like a lot more brakes. I'd say I would have assumed it had a double disc on it. I rode it first before I checked, and yeah, just from the field, yes, it's got proper brakes. Nice fat disc diameter. Whew. How beautiful that is, right? But yeah, it's comfortable. I'm sitting with the ball of my feet basically, okay, on the foot pegs. Just close your eyes quickly. Yeah, I was riding behind the truck and the sand and stuff was hitting me. Yeah, beautiful. So the steering, although it's a bit low, it does. I've got my peak helmet on again. It does stop quite a lot of the wind. Must say, it's quite nice. It is quite chilly, hence my jeans and my boots. Yeah. Now this motor just wants to run. As soon as it gets into the power band, it just keeps on revving. It will rev straight through. But you're below 6. That's full open there. So below 6, there's not not a lot of action happening. Oh, this is nice. Just check if everything is still working. I think I've ironed out most of the obvious issues. But please leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to change or see or improve. You're 17,000 Ks. I'm not sure if that's original, but having a look at the bike, I'm pretty sure it is, eh? Amazing. Ah, oh, nice. Oh, see there. Nothing. Hold on. Let me close my visor, sorry. Otherwise you're just riding in the wind. Oh man. Yeah, even the gearbox, it feels, when I say it, not that I'm an expert or anything, but it feels almost like an undercut gearbox. Very precise. If you put it in a gear, it's very nice. I've always glanced over the 1KTs, focused on the 3MAs and the 3XVs, the V2 model. The V2 model now, on my first ever time I was on the actual track, on a Mike Cameron track day, I went with a SV400 of a 650 motor, long story. And Yanni 2-stroke, he came with a 3XV, and we were running lap for lap
as I mentioned, a 250 two-stroke with a V-twin 650. It's crazy. And my mic got caught up in the seat. As I was bragging that I... Oh man! Oh man, absolute bliss! Absolute bliss! Man, I can't help but smile, eh? So as I mentioned, this bike is light, eh? Yes, it feels like a little 125 almost, or even lighter. I don't know. My 125 felt the same. Feels like a 125, yeah. An old 125, an old two-stroke 125, not these modern. Yeah, but it pulls, eh? I mentioned it. Oh, we're going to sit in traffic here, but I mentioned it about the RS 125 that it punches way above its class. This has a very similar feel almost. You do realize that it's got more power, especially when you get up in there in the speed and the revs. But yes, yeah, this is for 250. Right? Quite nice. Not the fastest thing I've ever ridden, you know, but very, very nice. Trying to figure out if I ever rode my brother's 3MA. I think I have, but only like up the road. I'm very fortunate. Thanks for watching the YouTube channels, by the way. Oh, see, there's nothing. I hold the throttle steady there, so you can hear the change in RPM going into the power band. Yeah, man. So the benefit of the 1KT is, as I mentioned, it was not the sought after 3MA or the 3XV. The 3XVs, they go way north of 150,000 the last time I checked. The 3MAs, non-running, I've seen them go for 80, and then 120, 140 up. But these, I've seen these for 60 to 80, which is a lot of money. That's in ZAR, South African rands, which is a lot of money, yes. But compared to a 3MA, and I definitely would rather have this as a daily than a 3MA. It's got semi sit-up handlebars. It's very comfortable. It's got a super reliable parallel two-stroke. That motor must be a derivative of the old the RF400 that was air-cooled and then liquid-cooled, the RF350 LC motor. It must be a variant of that. I don't know. But it's known as being the reliable parallel twin. I'm just going to put in some petroleum here at the engine, so the owner of this motorcycle can get to work tomorrow, or whenever he plans on riding his motorbike again. How friendly this guy is. I'm very well in yourself, man. Can you 100 South African rand, please? Turn that on there. It's empty or something. You like my bike? It's not my bike. Not mine. 86. Not too small. It will run there off the speedo. 252 stroke. Don't miss. Fast. Very fast. It is small, but it runs, eh? You know about dynamite? Comes in small packages. See, it saves money if you buy this bike. No slip. Thanks, man. So have a nice day. single kick. He says the bike will stand for 3 weeks. You give it a single kick and it will light off. That's it. Thank you. Sorted. It's also indicative of a well sorted machine. Yeah man, this is quite cool. See that's a 125 and that thing weighs probably 200 kilograms. Made of Chinese steel. This is still old Japanese aluminium and I don't know, magnesium and fiberglass and I don't know what else. So if you put different pipes on, I've had a discussion with a few people about it. The OEM pipes, most two-strokes, they just work. This engineer it, they did the math. How's it, my man? You want a dice? For Pepsi? 250. It's not that big. 125, 4-stroke. It's the 2-stroke that helps. It's got an extra stroke. 175. Nice. Got nice crash bars. You have fallen over here. Okay, well before I bore you, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. There's a few more bikes I've got lined up. The owner of this motorcycle is actually, this will be up for sale in the near future. He actually bought a 3XV. See if this guy. He actually bought a 3XV, so we'll see. You can have a fast car but not go fast. You can have a semi-cheap bike and go fast and have a smile on your face. So yeah, so the owner bought a 3XV. Nothing. Everything. So yeah, please click and subscribe, do all the stuff that you need to do, and yeah, we'll see you again for the next video. I really appreciate the comments and the feedback. I'm not going to complain again, but it does take an enormous amount of time. I eventually figured out the space issue. I have to upload the videos to YouTube and then immediately delete them. I'm running out of hard drive space. So, thanks. You.